Do you know, in Egypt, there are many historical relics from before Christ, including the Egyptian pyramids, which are one of the wonders of the ancient world that attract the attention of many people throughout the world. Many people head to Egypt to witness the wonders of this architecture. The Egyptian pyramids are the name for a triangular-shaped building in Egypt, which is an ancient pyramid shaped with a stone structure. In November 2008, it was estimated that 138 or 118 Egyptian pyramids had been identified. Most of these pyramids were built during the Egyptian Middle Kingdom and Old Kingdom periods, as tombs for ancient Egyptian kings known as pharaohs and their consorts. The earliest pyramids of the ancient Egyptians were step pyramids. Built during the 3rd dynasty of Egypt, architect Imhotep designed the stepped pyramid as the tomb of the pharaoh Djoser. The pyramid was built in the 27th century or around 2630 BC in the Saqqara necropolis northwest of the city of Memphis. This first Egyptian pyramid consisted of several mastabas arranged on top of each other. Djoser's pyramid at that time was 204 meters high and covered in white marble. The step pyramid is considered to be the first large-scale stone building built. The most famous Egyptian pyramid is found on the plateau in Giza, on the outskirts of Cairo, Egypt, namely the Great Pyramid of Khufu, which is the largest Egyptian pyramid and the only one of the 7 wonders of the ancient world that is still relatively intact. Some of the pyramids at Giza are among the largest structures ever built. There is also the Pyramid of Khafre and the Pyramid of Menkaure, which are the 3 large pyramids in the Giza pyramid complex. Karl Richard Lepsius, who led the Prussian expedition to Egypt, made the first list of modern pyramids in 1842. The list contained a list of 67 ancient pyramids, which later became known as the Lepsius Pyramid List. The results of the Prussian expedition to Egypt, consisting of a list of these pyramids, were published in Denkmaler aus Ägypten und Ethiopian. Many more pyramids have been discovered since then. In November 2018, 118 pyramids had been identified. The location of pyramid number 29, which is thought to have been built by King Menkaure, which Lepsius called the Headless Pyramid, was lost for the second time because it was buried in desert sand after a survey carried out by Lepsius. However, the pyramid was discovered again during archaeological excavations carried out in 2008. Many pyramids are in a poor state of preservation or buried by desert sand. When viewed, they may look like mounds of rubble. Thus, archaeologists continue to identify and study previously unknown pyramid structures. The latest pyramid to be discovered is Sesheshet, which is located in Saqqara, Egypt. The pyramid is the tomb of Queen Sesheshet, who was the mother of King Pharaoh Teti. The discovery of the pyramid was announced on November 11, 2008. All Egyptian pyramids, except the small 3rd dynasty pyramid at Zoyet El Mayatin, are located on the west bank of the Nile, and most are grouped together in a number of pyramid sites. How long it took to build the pyramid? It is known that the Nile Valley in Egypt began to be inhabited around 3500 BC, and the first pyramid is known to have appeared around 2700 BC. The interval given between the inhabitation of the Nile Valley and the pyramids is 800 years. Many civilizations felt that 800 years was not enough to make the transition from simple agriculture to large-scale construction. This caused the Egyptian dynasty to set standards that were quite difficult to follow. The Giza pyramids are thought to have been built during the 4th dynasty, namely around 2600 and 2500 BC. There was a gap in the construction of the pyramids, namely between 2300 BC and 2000 BC. After his rise, the last pyramid of the Egyptian pyramid dynasty was completed before 1700 BC. These pyramids were designed to serve as tombs for pharaohs. However, there are also rich people who often build pyramids for themselves. Pyramid building process. It is estimated that the construction of one pyramid takes around 15 to 30 years. The sizes of the pyramids vary from around 365,000 cubic meters to 28 million cubic meters. The time interval between pyramids is influenced by the main material, which is a large stone block. Interestingly, the Egyptians did not use many wheel-shaped mechanisms, which has led to the reduction of the theory that the stones were rolled onto the pyramids. Some hieroglyphs indicate that they would pull wheelbarrows with water poured on the ground to reduce friction. Although 30 years sounds like quite a long time, but this brings us to the number of stone blocks placed in the pyramid. One block is known to be placed at a rate of every 3 minutes. This means there are 2.3 million blocks in the Great Pyramid. Copper tools and sand abrasives were used to cut blocks of limestone that were transported across the Nile by boat. The circular base around the pyramid allows for the placement of individual limestone blocks. The figure behind the making of the pyramids, a modern interpretation, tells us that the pyramids were built entirely by enslaved people. However, currently this statement has received a lot of conflict from researchers. Farmers often built masterpieces like cathedrals in Europe after the harvest and planting season ended. Similar conditions can also provide an explanation regarding the labor that built the pyramids. Flooding on the Nile is expected to disrupt agricultural land use. Providing jobs through pyramid construction is a solution. Based on archaeological findings regarding the condition of the group of workers' graves, it can be concluded that they belong to the skilled working class. Following are the 3 most historic pyramids in the world. 1. Pyramid of Djoser. This pyramid was the first pyramid built around 2670 BC for Pharaoh Djoser. It is located on the flat Saqqara burial ground and was designed by the famous architect Imhotep. The height of this pyramid is more than 60 meters and was the tallest building at the time of its construction. The purpose of building this pyramid was to provide a suitable place for the pharaoh for his life after death. One theory about the design intent for this building was that the pyramid would be visible from the nearby city of Memphis. Changes to the pyramid's original design during construction indicate that the pyramid underwent an uncertain phase. 2. Pyramids of Giza. The Old Kingdom of Egypt developed around 2550 BC. The success of this kingdom was symbolized by Pharaoh Khufu, who built a pyramid that was around 146 meters high, which is now known as the Great Pyramid, and there are 3 rooms in it. Pharaohs Khafre and Menkaure then built their own pyramid, which was completed in 2504 BC. According to old traditions, the temple complex would appease the gods, and the treasures buried with them would help them in their next lives. The Great Sphinx is known to stand guard outside the Pyramid of Khafre, which is carved completely out of limestone. The famous Egyptian Sultan Al-Aziz Uthman tried to destroy the Menkaure pyramid in 1196 AD and stopped when he realized that it was impossible to move the pyramid. 3. Pyramid of Khenjer. The Khenjer pyramid is a pyramid built by Pharaoh Khenjer and is in Saqqara, in the same location as the pyramid that was first built. The height of this pyramid is about 37 meters and is the only pyramid completed in the 13th dynasty. However, in the 1930s, this site was left in ruins. Retrospectively, this pyramid was the last pyramid built. This is due to the large costs and organization required to create a pyramid. Apart from that, religious reasons are also no longer relevant for an ever-changing population. These are some of the pyramids in Egypt and the history of their formation, and are one of the wonders of the world today.